It's Jeff in the Jeep. A little furry than last time you saw me. A little more hairy. Wearing flannel. I might even put on a few pounds. It might be the camera. Don't know. Anyways, I haven't posted in a while. Been kind of busy. Working. Trying to take care of bills. Trying to survive, really. Doing whatever it takes at the moment. Of course, I work full time, but sometimes things don't always go according to plan. Bills come up, kids are sick, wife gets ill, baby gets ill, I got ill. Missed a few days, a couple weeks ago. Worked sick for the rear end of the week, and I had to call in the following Monday, and then my boss actually, he called in on a Monday, and it's just been a plethora of shit happening all at one time. So I've been extremely busy. I got kids that are in sports that, hell, we can barely afford the gas for me to get back and forth to work, and then I have to pick up kids, so I get off work and end up sitting in a school parking lot for an hour waiting for one to get done, and then have to rush to go get another one because it's the time frame. And well, I've just been really busy, really. And to be honest, I broke my other cell phone and had to get another one. And well, just a bunch of stuff. Well, been watching the news, been reading the news, been researching like I normally do. You know, you hear something from one side and you hear something from another, and you really want to know the facts. And so I've been doing a little research on people seeking asylum and just a bunch of stuff. And you know, you hear about the drugs coming through the southern border, and then you find out some of the largest caches of drug smuggling that's been caught has been coming through ports of entry in our northern ports of entry. Huge, massive quantities of fentanyl, stuff like that they've been, look at these people from the, at their southern border bringing in these huge quantities of, synthetic heroin and this and that and all this other stuff. And, our biggest drug problem in America right now, our largest drug problem in America right now are legally prescribed opiates. And people are dying every day from an opiate overdose from pills manufactured and prescribed here in the United States that are not being smuggled into the United States. Now, a lot of people say that, our biggest drug problem is heroin, and I mean, it's not. You have people dying every day from opiate overdoses that are getting their drugs either through prescription or through street purchase, and they're being manufactured and sold right here in the United States. I'm not going to say that drugs aren't coming through our southern border, because they have and always will be. But we also have a lot of drugs coming in through our northern ports and, all kinds of different trade ports that we use commercially with countries like China, Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, India. So, we have a lot more drugs coming in through other ports of entry in the United States than just the southern border. But the focus, the narrative, what you hear from the extreme right and the propagandists like on Fox News, which I call propagandists, I'm sorry, they're lying to the American people, telling you things that really aren't true. And people repeat it, and they think it's true, but it's not. And it's sad, because you really can't do anything about it. They'll jump on the bandwagon saying it's their First Amendment right to lie to people. When you twist the narrative, when you misconstrue facts, when you lie to the American people, you tell them things that aren't true, well, that's just kind of criminal, in my opinion. But, what am I? I'm just an average, everyday American trying to weed my way through all this mumbo-jumbo. And, look at what's going on with Donald Trump. I mean, they're looking at everything that he's done wrong, and these things I'm sure the FBI has known about for the last year or so. They've been putting together a case against Donald Trump, and everybody's calling it a political witch hunt. And I don't believe it's a political witch hunt. What I believe is that we have a criminal in the White House. What I believe is that we have a man who has his entire life His entire life has been spent working the system and beating the system and using crime as a way to his means to creating his wealth. And you look at the Trump organization altogether, everything that the FBI is saying that these wonderful people have been doing, you have to kind of wonder if it was a political witch hunt. Which, you know what, if it was, I would be all against it. I really, truly would. I'm a Democrat, but it doesn't mean I stand with Democrats if they're breaking the law. I believe wholly and entirely that corruption exists on both sides of the fence. That it's not just the GOP. I'm sure that there are Democrats who are just as bad as the GOP. I think both sides are highly corrupted. And when I say corrupted, I mean their focus and their concerns are about corporate needs, not about the people. And I'm just saying, if Donald Trump is guilty, if he has broken the law, then he should face the same consequences as the average everyday Joe who busts his ass or does something stupid and breaks the law. I mean, if you break the law, you break the law. And I don't think there should be special excuses for breaking the law. And there's a lot of talk about this Green Beret who murdered a man accused of being a bomb maker. A lot of people on the extreme right really don't give a shit. So what? Well, you know what? If he was the enemy of our country and he killed him, shouldn't that be during a firefight, not an execution? I never served in the military, never claimed to. I have no idea what this Green Beret has gone through for our country. And I'm not blind to it. I'm sure this man has seen enough hell in war. And I have sympathy for that. And I could never imagine or put myself in his shoes, because war is something that you just can't imagine. At the same time, these laws are in place for a reason, and a good man is only as good as his last deed. That's it. And I take that, I don't know if that's a saying or not, but I take that saying actually from the culinary world, that a chef is only as good as his last ticket. I look at that in the same light. A man is only as good as his last deed. And if his last deed was murder, then I don't think anything he's done, no matter how good it was, no matter how many lives he saved beforehand, if you are going to commit murder, it's murder. The man was only accused of being a bomb maker. They didn't have actual proof that he was a bomb maker, but, you know, a tribal leader said he was. And again, I can't put myself in this man's shoes because I have never served this country. And I'm not going to go into my reasons. I attempted to after 9/11, but that's a whole other story. But what I would like to get into and say is that if a man commits murder, he commits murder. If he had killed the man during a firefight, I could understand, but he just marched him off the base and basically blew his fucking head away. And then buried him, and then dug him back up, and then burned him in a fucking trash pile. That doesn't sound like a very good man. You know, Donald Trump's about to pardon this man, more than likely, and you know he will. And, you know, all I can say is if he is pardoned, I hope he learned his lesson. I hope to God that somewhere deep down inside, he knows what he did wrong, and there is no right to what he did. There's no excuse for what he did. Can I forgive a man like that? I don't know. It's not my place to judge, and that's what I always say. It's God's place to judge. That's why I don't have a problem with homosexuals or gays, lesbians or transsexuals. It is not my place to judge whether it's right or wrong. I might not agree to a lot of these things, but that's something I put in God's hand. It's not me being derelict of a Christian as a Christian. I just believe that who am I to cast the first stone? And at the end of the day, you're going to stand before God Almighty himself, as if you believe in God, God Almighty himself. And I think that's when judgment will come. And I don't know. Have things changed in heaven? I don't know. But I don't have a problem with people being gay or homosexual, whatever. I have a problem when people try to pressure children into trying to decide their gender identity, because I don't think a child at 8 years old really knows what their gender identity would be, other than that. That just mind boggles me, to be honest with you. I don't understand the whole thing. Times have changed. You know, we used to think people were gay if they were in the gym locker room and happened to look at your penis. You know, oh, that guy's gay, he's looking at your penis. Hell, I looked at a lot of penises in the gym locker room. I mean, I'm not gay, but I was always like, why is his smaller than mine? Or why is his bigger than mine? His balls are the size of basketballs. You're gonna look. Doesn't mean you're gay. Just saying. I showered at the YMCA. That's scary. I'm just saying. Hey, buddy, you need some soap? No, I'm good. I'll just lather up with this here shampoo / body wash. I didn't drop that. I'm not picking it up either. Listen, I'm an American. I love this country. I love everything about this country. I love the people of this country. I hear about what's going on at the southern border, and it gets to me. And people say, well, you should be more concerned about Americans. Well, I am, because these people are trying to become one. And therefore, I am concerned about them. Because, and then I hear the argument, there's criminals. You know what? Let's talk about that. We have criminals here. We have people who had killed, 68 people, wounded over 500 people in Las Vegas. Think about Sandy Hook, Stone Douglas, all these fucking crimes, horrible mass murderers. Were any of them imports? No. I love my country. I really don't know what I had much more to say than this, other than doing what I think is right, saying what I think is right. God bless America. Gotta get to work. I'm a couple minutes late. My boss is waiting for me. God bless America. Amen.